Hey, welcome everybody. Here we are in the bottom of the eighth, and you know what? The score I believe is 12-1. Guidry on the mound for the Yanks, and the Yanks are up 12-1. That's why I just started playing this game in the bottom of the eighth again, just to give people a flavor of Statis Pro dice version. I picked up some new cards from Big Dave 32 or something, Big 32 Dave or something to that effect off of eBay. But you can go there and you can kind of search and you can look at the pictures. And I really like this design. I thought it stood out. The numbers were fairly large. The names were fairly large. And I felt comfortable with this set. And it also reminded me a little bit more than the other sets. To the originals, in that the originals were very plain. These are kind of plain because some of the other sets have like colors and logos and all kinds of stuff like that. These were very simple, bare bones, black and white, so it won't cost me any color ink. And that's it. So we're going to get started here in the bottom of the eighth. It's Roy Thomas pitching for the Seattle Mariners, and we're going to roll here to see the PB number. And that's an 8, so that's going to be off Billy Sample. Billy Sample is the batter. He's a right-handed normal batter. And that's a 74. 74 is going to be an out range, so we're going to pull a card for an RN. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. And Thomas feels his position for out number 1 here in the bottom of the eighth. Next 1985 Yankee to come up is Butch Weiniger. Yes, he played. I remember him playing with Minnesota earlier in that time period, but then he eventually played with the Yanks. And here's the PB number is a 6, so that's going to be off Roy Thomas, who's a 2-7. So we're going to look at Thomas's card, a 56. It's going to be in the out range. Weiniger is a switch hitter. He's a switch hitter normal. Pull a card for that. It's going to be for everyone. It's going to be a fly out 7. So that's 2 out. 2 out, and left fielder is Phil Bradley. So 2 out, and next is Dale Berry steps in to the box. He's a right-handed normal hitter. Here's the pitch from Thomas. It's going to be off Thomas, and that's an 18, and that's line base hit to right field. So Dale Berry goes the other way and gets a hit. So Dale Berry is on at first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the eighth. The Yankees lead it by a score of 12-1. It's Andre Robertson, and he's filling in for the injured, and we're going to reduce here 1 there. And we don't have to look for the error because I believe it was off the pitcher's card. So here goes. Andre Robertson is filling in for the injured Bobby Meacham, who was the Yankee shortstop at the time period. And that's going to be a 12, and we just play that normal. We don't play CD or we don't play BD. So a 12 is going to be off Andre Robertson. That's an 18. And that's going to be line base hit center field. So we're going to reduce 1. And Weiniger is going to just stop at second, up by 11 runs. They're not going to rub it in, if you will. We don't want to get a brouhaha started. And that could happen if we start rubbing it in. All right, so it's Ricky Henderson now, leadoff batter for the Yanks. And that's a 7, so that's going to be off of Thomas. And that's a 61. 61 is an out range, and he's a right-handed pull hitter, RP, and that's a fly ball left field. Back goes Phil Bradley to the track and makes a nice one-handed running grab there of that fly ball that looked like it wasn't going to do very much, but it kind of picked up speed at the end. So we go to the top of the ninth now. Score is 12-1 Yanks, and as you can see, it kind of flows. It's pretty smooth using dice for this, and you can incorporate. There are rolls for the BD and the D and the BD and the CD charts. So if you want to use that, you have the Z. Also, there's numbers for the Z chart as well. I don't use all that because I use actual lineups, and I don't worry about that. So anyway, all right. So it's going to be Ivan Calderon against Ron Guidry. Guidry's going for the complete game victory. That's a 5. So that's going to be off Guidry's card. It's a 31 off Guidry, and that's a strikeout. Calderon down on strikes. out number 1. Next is going to be Al Cowens. To me, he'll always be a Kansas City Royal. And it's going to be off of Guidry's card, a 41. That's a walk based on balls for Cowens. That's going to reduce Guidry by 1. So Cowens on at first base with 1 out here, a 12-1 game. And it's Dave Winfield hit a grand slam in this game. Alvin Davis, lefty versus lefty. He's been robbed a couple of times by Guidry. Again, it's off Guidry, and that's an 11. Lefty versus lefty, and he gets robbed again. That's a strikeout. Curveball gets him. Expected the fastball, but no, Guidry came with a curb. So 2 outs now. So I use the lefty versus lefty, righty versus lefty, righty modifier. So a lefty versus a lefty gets knocked out from 11 to 15. And those are hit numbers. So it's tough when you go lefty versus lefty in this game. Okay, so it's Dave Henderson, 2 outs in the top of the 9th. It's 12-1 Yankee game. And that's a 9, so that's going to be off Dave Henderson's card. We can see right here, 47. Look and see what that is. 47 is going to be a base on balls. Again. Guidry allows a walk here in the top of the 9th inning of a game that he has in the bag, if you will. And it's Jim Presley, Don't Be Cruel, Heartbreak Hotel. And it's a 5, so that's going to be off Guidry's card. And that's going to be an 82 off Guidry's card, is easily an out range. And that's an RP. And that's a ground ball to 6. That's the shortstop for the Yanks, Andre Robertson. And there's no error. Game is over. Throws him out. And that's all she wrote. So Yankees win it by a score of 12-1. And Winfield, big star with the grand slam, and Ron Guidry does a great job, hangs in there, finishes the game, a complete game victory. You don't see those very much now in modern baseball. And that's all. So it's getting, the more you play, the smoother it gets, and the more you're focused and keep everything on track in terms of flipping cards when it's a hit off of the batter's card, and also reducing the pitcher. So those are 2 extra things that, I really don't have to play with the pitcher reduction. A lot of times I forget and I really don't care. Because I kind of go and I feel, once the pitcher starts giving up too many runs and hits, I usually just bring in a guy. But that's it. So the win goes to Guidry, and the loss is going to go to the starter. And these are the new cards, by the way. Matt Young. There you go, Matt Young. He's a lefty. He was 12-19 that year with a 4.91 ERA, so he had 35 starts. He loses this one, and this was game 45, June 1st, 1985, and the Yanks now improve their record to 21-24. 21-24. Before this game started, the Yanks were 20-24, while in actuality they were 24-20. So there's an 8-game difference. So obviously my coaching abilities are lacking at this point. I'm going to brush up. And that's about it. So I'm going to sign off. Combat Painter signing off. I should play the last game of this 3-game set in a little bit. And I'm going to take a little break and unwind a little bit. And then I will be back.